We've been married for 5 years. I was 22 when we first met, and now I'm 33. When I first saw him, he seemed like the most grounded person I'd ever known. Steady, responsible, the kind of organized that made life feel manageable. He kept routines, tracked every expense, paid bills on time, filed taxes early, and always brought an umbrella if the weather called for it. My life had never had that kind of order, and I leaned into him more than I realized at the time. He always talked about wanting children. It was one of our first serious conversations. I told him I wanted that too, even had a list of baby names I liked. I said it all with conviction, but the truth is, I had never really imagined that life for myself. I just didn't want to lose him. Deep down, I accepted it as the cost of being part of the stable future he represented. I told myself I'd feel differently when the time came, but I didn't. It never changed. Motherhood never fit. As the years went on, the subject came up more and more. He'd bring up things like school districts, or how his coworker's kid got into an advanced program. Meanwhile, I was daydreaming about flights to Mexico, trying to convince myself we could travel more before settling down. He never directly stopped me, but that was our pattern. He nudged me one way, and I quietly resisted. By our 3rd year of marriage, we weren't really arguing. We were just misaligned. The distance between us was calm, polite, and unbearable. We had a nice apartment, 2 bedrooms, big windows, a kitchen he'd remodeled one weekend like a man on a mission. But the quiet between us was getting louder. I started staying out later. He went to bed earlier. I stopped explaining where I was or why. That's when I met someone else. A friend of a coworker came by to fix our wireless printer. After that, I found excuses to talk to him again. I never mentioned that I was married. I kept things vague. He had that same calm charm my husband once had before our life got heavy. I liked how easy it felt. We started texting. He wasn't pushy, which reminded me of how my husband used to be when we were younger. More playful. Before every conversation felt like a countdown to children and real estate. I'd say I needed some air and head out, calling the new guy while my husband folded laundry or sorted spreadsheets on his laptop. He always did his own laundry, always hung his jeans by the waist so they wouldn't crease. That was just who he was. I got careless, wrapped up in my own little daydreams. I lost track of reality. He noticed. He checked our shared phone plan and saw one number again and again at all hours. He called it. I don't know what the other guy told him, but the next morning, my husband looked like he hadn't slept at all. He stood in the kitchen and said he knew, asking me not to talk to him. Just like that. No yelling. No breaking anything. He told me to stay out of his way and went into the bedroom. The next morning he wasn't in our bed anymore. He'd moved to the guest room. By the weekend, he'd already redirected his direct deposit to a new bank account. Quietly, efficiently, just like how he did everything else. He had paid for nearly everything in our life: rent, insurance, utilities, groceries. I contributed small things, my own streaming services, maybe the internet. The joint account had both our names on it, but he kept it going. Now he's gone quiet. I don't know if he's hired a lawyer. He won't tell me. I've asked to talk. He says no. He says he wants a divorce and means it. As for the other guy, I haven't spoken to him since everything fell apart. I wouldn't even know what to say. Hey, I blew up my life. Can we pretend this is still fun? It's not fun anymore. I don't want him. I don't want the divorce either. I just want to go back, but I know I can't. He's not open to anything. He won't even look at me now, and I have no idea what to do. Update asterisk. I'm falling apart. He left 4 days ago. Took what he needed. His work clothes, laptop, a bunch of chargers, his shaving kit, a few tools. Not everything. He left the drill but took the good flashlight he always kept in the car. Didn't say where he was going. Just that he wasn't going to keep paying for an apartment I was the only one living in. I didn't argue. I couldn't. I was frozen. I keep freezing like that. My brain just goes on pause. I stand there lost, not able to think straight or move most days. I don't know if he's staying with friends or at a hotel. He won't say. He only answers messages about money now, asking me to send receipts for anything I buy that we used to share, so he can track it all for the split. It's like I've already become someone he used to know. I'm facing money issues now. My job barely gives me 22 hours a week, and even that depends on whether someone else doesn't need the shift. Rent eats up 3/4 of my paycheck. Utilities are still looming. I keep the AC off unless it's unbearable, and eat cheap frozen meals from the clearance section. I tried calling my dad for advice, but I hung up before he could answer. I haven't told anyone what's happening. Everyone always liked him better anyway, probably still do. Then there's the other guy. I don't even know what to call him anymore. AP, I guess. We messaged after everything collapsed. I didn't explain much, but he figured it out. He'd suspected I was married all along. When I mentioned maybe needing a place to stay, he went silent. A few days later, I reached out again and just said things were bad. He responded with, "I'm sorry you're going through all that. I'm not in a place to help." That was it. He's still online, still posting dinners out gym selfies his dog. Yesterday, he tagged some woman in a story I didn't recognize. Maybe it was always like that, and I just didn't see it. Or maybe he saw what happened and bolted. If he knew I was married and still slept with me, then part of me thinks he should face consequences too. But it looks like that's not how the world works. Either way, he's done with me. I asked my landlord what it would cost to break the lease. 2 months' rent, and I'd lose the deposit. I can't swing that, so now I'm looking for a roommate. Not many people want to live with someone in the middle of a divorce. One woman came by and asked why the second room had no furniture, and why I had so many frozen burritos. I didn't have an answer. It's final now. He hired a lawyer. I got the email today. It had his last name in the subject. It outlined the asset division, ending the lease, and separating all our joint responsibilities. I read it on my phone while standing in the kitchen beside the coffee maker he chose. I didn't reply. I've read it 5 times, and still have no idea what to do. I can't afford a lawyer. I don't even know how to pay for mediation. I'm still late on last month's rent. I asked AP again if he could help me find a place, or let me crash for a bit. He saw the message but didn't respond. The next day, I followed up, and he finally wrote, "I don't think it's a good idea for us to keep talking right now." I stopped messaging after that. I don't want to feel this unwanted anymore. So I've started selling things: old clothes, electronics, even wedding gifts. The nice cookware, the mixer. I took the mixer to a pawn shop, and the guy offered me $40. He didn't even look interested. I've applied for more hours at work, but they're cutting shifts across the board. The landlord gave me a deadline: pay by the 15th or vacate. I haven't told my parents. They'd say this is my fault, and they wouldn't be wrong, but I still can't bear to hear it from them. I've thought about asking my husband, almost ex-husband, just one last time, but I already know what he'd say. He doesn't owe me anything anymore. And truthfully, I broke promises I should never have made. I stepped outside of what was supposed to be sacred. Even now, I wake up thinking I'll hear his keys drop into the bowl by the door. I catch myself wanting to text him, "We're out of coffee," or "Did you pay the water bill?" Then I remember, it's not we anymore. I don't have a plan. I'm not working on some neat little redemption story. He's not going to be on the other side of any of this. Neither is AP. I always thought I'd get it together before it got this bad. But I didn't.